You have type 1 diabetes.
That's
right?
correct.
And how old is one when one is diagnosed with type 1?
Well, it's changed so much. You know, I was first diagnosed at age 12, but now, you know, with the way people eat and the way that, you know, we consume our food, unfortunately, people are getting, you know, young adults are getting diagnosed with type 1. So, you know, you could be 26, you could be 42, you could be 16, you could be 12. It really affects people of all ages now.
So for you growing up, how did that diagnosis affect fitness, sports, athletics? Did it have any impact? I mean, I would assume you always got picked for the basketball
I was always
team.
on the basketball team.
Right.
I played football both ways, and, you know, to me, it was something, I don't remember not being diabetic, right? I was diagnosed at 11 or 12, so it's kind of all I know. And, you know, my mom was, she was a great coach, right? Motivational coach, like Prince was talking about. She was on me. You know, if you want to play sports, if you want to be your best self, if you want to excel in basketball or excel in cooking, whatever it is you're doing, you need to be able to, you know, stay on it.
Right.
And that means exercise, eat well, and check your blood sugar. For me, which, you know, for you, it's 2 out of 3.
I still got to do 2 of those 3 things, right?
Exactly.
I got to eat well and exercise.
Exactly. But
you started a foundation beyond type 1.
Yep.
You're partnering with Nick Jonas, a bunch of really wonderful people.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, and what is the message you want to get out there to people about type 1?
Sure. So, you know, we started this great foundation. There's 3 co-founders, one being Nick Jonas, awesome guy, great singer, jacked. Right,
yeah.
You guys can appreciate that.
Ripped. Yep.
You're totally ripped. And then, you know, 2 wonderful women, Juliette DeBobany and Sarah Lucas, and we started this foundation, and it's for 3 really crucial points, right? The first one is that we want to raise the levels of education and awareness between not only type 1 and type 2, but just people that don't even know what that means.
Right.
There's still people that don't know what type 1 or type 2 diabetes is, and we want to really, you know, raise the levels of education and awareness about that. Point number 2 is that we want to celebrate people that are living with type 1 today, right? Guys like myself, guys like Nick, the countless 37 million Americans that live with type 1 diabetes.
It's a huge number. I don't think anybody, I mean,
yeah.
I had no idea that it was that big a number.
It's growing, unfortunately. And so what we want to do is we want to celebrate those people that are living with it today, give them a voice and be like, hey, you know, maybe you're 16 and you're the, you know, the coach of the high school basketball team, or maybe you're 74 and you've been living with this thing forever. Whatever your age, whatever your demographic, where you're from, whatever, we want to celebrate you. We have an Instagram dedicated to it. And last, and I guess, I don't know if it's the most important, I guess you could say it's probably the most important pillar of our organization, but it's ultimately supporting a path to a cure, right?
Yeah.
I feel that I've lived long enough with this disease, and I'm ready to put it to rest now. So that's why we ultimately did this thing, is that we want to beat the crap out of it in so many different ways. And I put myself with some really great, cool, powerful people in their own right to try and combat this, and that's what we're here to do.
Well, I'm sure they feel the same, because I think you are a really inspiring guy. So to meet someone who's lived his whole life,
they call me the wimpy guy that like fakes workout.
I don't buy that even for a minute, especially with the way that you have brought. It's interesting to see somebody with type 1 diabetes then become a chef.
Yeah.
But be able to open restaurants that appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, be able to that appeal across the board. So what is your approach to food, and do you approach it with type 1 diabetes in mind, or do you just start with approaching it just great food?
I love people. So I approach food in the same way. I love food, and I love people when they leave my restaurant to feel like, you know what? If I want to go to the theater, I can go to the theater. If I want to go work out, I can work out. If I want to go to the movies, I don't want to bombard people with my food after they ate. They're like, oh man, I feel like I just ate a loaf of bread. So you know what I mean though?
Yeah,
like,
right?
you've all eaten a meal where you're like, dude, I can't move.
I can't move. Roll me out.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I don't want people to feel like that when they leave my restaurant. So by saying that, you know, I love people, I want to see people, I want to motivate people, I want to inspire people, and I think that I can achieve that through food. So the way that I do it is that I grew up in the South, right?
Yeah.
And if we all know that food from the South can be not the best.
It can be
the healthiest
deep fried
food. It can be deep fried.
Yeah.
It can be, you can like peel the layers of fat off the walls when you go into a new kitchen and things. But that's the food that I know. It's the food that I love. It's the food that's comforting to my soul that I grew up on. So now, you know, what I've adopted is the cooking mentality, is that like, let's take the food that we all know, that we all grew up on, from wherever our hometown is, and, you know, try to take those modern alternate healthier tweaks,
right,
and use them in the recipe. So, for example, I'm opening a fried chicken restaurant in Greenpoint in Williamsburg. But you know, when you eat fried chicken in the South, maybe it's been brined in buttermilk, maybe it's been fried in white flour, and I don't do any of those things. I do it differently, right? You know, we use coconut milk and chili vinegar, or for pastries or baking, I don't use white sugar or white flour. You know, I use coconut sugar and date sugar. So those types of modern alternatives that are available to, accessible to us all over. You could buy almond milk on Amazon, you could buy it at a local whatever store. So the ingredients that I use, they're accessible, they're traceable, and they're healthier. And that's my food philosophy is, you're cooking within the season. I'm always late to meetings. I'm running to the farmer's market, and I have to get inspired to do. So in a nutshell, it's cook from the seasons, cook from the heart, and cook with ingredients that you know are good for you and good for the people around you.
And you can have great food and it can be healthy. I mean, then that's really the takeaway. You can have great comfort food and it can still be healthy for you.
Dude, you can have fried chicken and have it still be healthy. Healthier for you. How about that? Healthier, not healthy, but healthier for you, right?
We've got some great questions for you from chat. Sam, both my grandmother and grandfather died with diabetes. What are the best foods to keep your glycemic levels low?
So, for that question, I'm really sorry to hear that, by the way. It's, I'm sure that they lived like really awesome, fruitful lives. But again, today where we are with technology and all these things, it's a different story living with diabetes, So, and thank God for that. But what I would say for lower glycemic foods, there's a lot of different fruits that fall higher and lower on the glycemic index. For me, because fruit is a great source of fiber and you need that in your diet. So like the fruits that I would stay away from, I tend to stay away from watermelon and pineapple, but some of the fruits that fall lower on the glycemic index, papayas, a really great call. Figs can be a great call. Again, I stay away from foods that are, even as a diabetic, foods that are higher in acid, so like white flour, white sugar, those types of things, obviously, you stay away from. You could use honey, which falls lower on the glycemic index than maple syrup.
Interesting.
So,
So there's a lot of options out there.
Tons of different options.
We got the holidays are kind of upon us. We have some questions that feed right into that. I need some healthy breakfast ideas. Do you have any healthy cookie ideas? Is it a specific recipe, or is it making those swaps that you're talking about? Instead of white sugar, we use some honey.
Yeah, and I think it's also making the swaps of maybe, if like your thing at Christmas is to eat, I don't know, what's a Christmas pie? Like
apple,
okay,
pumpkin,
some
whatever.
kind of like appley, sugary
Right.
pie, right? I mean, why not take the thought process and be like, you know what? This year I'm not going to do this buttery, flaky, Crisco-y, lardy, crusty apple pie.
Right.
Okay. And people are like, why would you not want to do that?
Why would
Sounds
you
awesome.
not? That's the craziest idea I've ever heard.
That was stupid, dude. No. So then what you could do is, but you could take that same ideology, like what goes in my apple pie? Well, I know it has cinnamon, I know it has sugar, I know it has apples. Okay, great. So why don't we do some kind of like sauteed apple flambe, or we could like dice some apples, we'll put a little butter in the pan. Instead of using brown sugar like we would do a banana Foster, we could use coconut sugar. Take a little dark rum, right? A little higher in sugar, but still not as like fabricated white sugar. And we could do like an apple flambe, which is you lose all the calories and all the sodium and all the fat content from that crust and those types of things. So you could just take the same tradition of the holidays, but just try to make it a little bit healthier, right? And I don't think anyone complained if you came to my house last year and had the apple pie, and you come this year and I did the apple flambe for you over like a coconut ice cream, you'd be like,
I would not complain.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no chance I would complain about that.
And I just made that up for you on the fly. So imagine what I could do if it was like,
if you had a chance to like
really
think about those swaps. For you, what's the one healthy ingredient that you cannot live without?
The one healthy
thing
ingredient
that's in your pantry that you're like, this is my go-to that I put in stuff to keep the bad stuff out.
Well, I can tell you this. Okay, I have a good answer for that, because the way at first I didn't know if I knew the answer, but then you said to keep the bad stuff out. So for me, coconut vinegar and cider vinegar. I can't live without them, and I actually drink them. I'm sure some of you have heard, maybe you've heard of, you drink a little bit of cider vinegar. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we actually spoke about that last time I was on your show.
Last time we hung out, yeah.
Yeah, so I put that in my food religiously, because when you go to a restaurant, you're eating someone's food, and it tastes a little, or you go to your favorite restaurant and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get the linguine with blah, blah, blah. And you get it and it's like, man, it's just missing something. It's probably missing, three things could have happened. One, the chef was like fighting with his wife or his girlfriend or something like that, or whatever, who knows. Two was that it didn't have enough salt. And three, it didn't have enough acid. So for me, I use a lot of citrus, I use a lot of vinegars. And what that also does is, so when you eat anything, there's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. If you take a couple tablespoons of cider vinegar in the morning and in the afternoon and at night, what that does is that it comes in, it leaves the good bacteria behind, and it kind of absorbs all the bad bacteria, therefore equalizing your pH balance.
Wow.
And a healthy pH balance is what everybody needs, because any disease, whether it be common cold or cancer, thrives in a highly acidic environment. So cider vinegar to me is, and coconut vinegar, they taste great, but they also help kind of cure as you go.
Keep you healthy.
Keep things balanced,
Keep you
not
even.
cure, but you know what I mean.
We were talking about workout buddies earlier. People were posting pictures, and if I'm reading your Instagram correctly, your workout buddy is
Tank.
your dog.
Tank.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at what?
So I have 3.
You have 3 dogs.
But these 2 are, she's like, Maya's like Prince.
Right.
Like you can't keep up with Prince. So like
the
Maya just
brown,
does
the
her
brown dog you can't keep up with.
She just does her own thing. This one's lazy and only cares about sticks. But Tank is my running dog. Like I run through Williamsburg and Greenpoint with Tank when I'm not.
When you're not hobbled a
When
little
I'm not
bit.
hobbled a little bit. But Tank's my guy. He's my. These 2 are pit bulls. She's like Snuffleupagus. I don't even know what kind of dog she is.
Great dogs.
Yeah. So Tank is. He's also a male model.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's super handsome. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's good. Workout buddies keep you going. And also, you get
He
home at the end
motivates-
of the day, and even if you're tired, Tank wants to go for
Tank
a run,
is
right?
always. I need to take Tank for a run because again, pit bulls they're like worker dogs. Terriers are worker dogs. If they have a job, they're stoked, and if not, they're eating everything in sight. So yes, I have to run with my dog and we skateboard around town. You know,
Right.
all that jazz.
Watch the ankles. Be careful. Tell people real quick, one more time, you mentioned it. You're opening a new restaurant.
Yep.
It's all about comfort food. What's the name?
It's called Pretty Southern. I grew up in the South, you know, between the Carolinas, Charleston, South Carolina, and Charleston and Charlotte, North Carolina. It's called Pretty Southern. It's based on, you know, clean Southern comfort food. Fried chicken, baked chicken, these really awesome baked crab rolls, just healthy, clean juices, great vegetable sides. You don't have to be a meat eater to come, and it's right in Greenpoint. It's on the other side of McCarran Park, local Williamsburg, Greenpoint neighborhood restaurant. So please come by, all of you.
When you
Lovely.
make your New York road trip, Daily Burn 365 family,
Come
we
see
will
me.
all go eat at Sam's restaurant.
Yeah.
We told you that. Thanks. Thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here, man.
okay,
It's a
man.
pleasure to have you with us. Get healthy.
Yeah,
take
for
care
sure.
of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
You guys take care of yourselves as well. Thanks for being with us today. We will be back, of course, tomorrow with a brand new total body workout. We're going to finish the week strong, and we want you here. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank
Thank you.
Prince, thank you. Class, thank you.